What is going on, and welcome back to the Director of Football Journeyman with me, FoggyPlays, on FM21. And today we're taking on Dijon in the final game of the season because we guaranteed survival the game just before Rennes, which was the game I was going to come back for. Didn't see the point in it because obviously didn't really have a huge amount to play for. We could still, in theory, finish 9th, which would be fantastic. And I think... No, doesn't. I thought for some reason I thought 9th you got more money for finishing in 9th over, say, 17th, but you don't. So that's fine. We'll just worry about all that later on. We don't have to worry about the playoff because we are not in the relegation zone. As you can see, we are sitting in 12th. Pretty happy with that. We have a positive goal difference at the moment, unless Dijon decide they want to win this game. We should be relatively fine. Rennes and Montpellier have both been relegated. Saint-Étienne, after I said they were guaranteed to go down, did exactly what I said after that, and they are on the verge of survival. Lille could, in theory, still get relegated. Quite an important game here. Saint-Étienne play Marseille. They're duking it out to try and get into Europe next season, or Champions League, no, Europa League next season. Dijon are playing us, obviously, and Lille play Metz. So I kind of want everyone bar Dijon to get points in this game. Well, to be fair, I don't really care about Saint-Étienne Marseille game, but if results go away, we finish 9th, and that would be fantastic after the fact that we had our players almost causing a mutiny. But speaking of a mutiny, some of the players still don't like me, and I'm not sure why. Everything was fine, and then all of a sudden, a couple of them just decided they didn't like me anymore. So Pedraza, Orvik, Pusic, Nathan, Gabels, and Emerelli has recently taken a disliking to me. I can understand why, because he's not played a single game since he arrived, but I can't register him. It's not my fault. But Pedraza, since he started opposing me, has actually played really rather well. Nathan has been very disappointing so far. Gabels has been Pusic and Orvik, two of them. Pusic I could do without. I'm not overly bothered about him. Orvik has been decent this year, so a little disappointed in that. But since you were here last in the Lyon game, we struggled to beat Lille, to say the least. We were, well, it was 1-1 going into the 90th minute. Then we scored. Then we scored again with Gabels getting a goal in the 94th minute, and then they scored in the 95th. And I remember squeaky bum time. I was a little bit weary that we were going to concede, but thankfully we didn't concede again, even though I think there was 4 minutes meant to be added on, and they scored in the 95th. Then we played Paris Saint-Germain and lost 4-1. Don't think it was actually that bad of a game. You look at that and you go, well, PSG absolutely destroyed you. They didn't. We just played a terrible... I played the 8 defenders in the first half, and they just scored from miles out. And I think Todibo scored from a corner. And then we went back to the 4-3-3 and scored a goal. And I was like, maybe we should start with this. Then against Metz, fairly comfortable 2-0 win. Wasn't anything to write home about. Rennes, who have been struggling quite a lot recently, as previously stated, they have gotten relegated. They were mid-ish table when they sacked the manager, I think, and that wasn't a great decision on their part. But El Bilal Toure scored a hat-trick, and Marco de Graca has scored a brace in that game. Against Nantes, de Graca scored, and then they scored in the 92nd minute, which, you know, not ideal. Then against Strasbourg, a lot of our players just didn't play that well, and the substitutes I brought on, like Lefay, scored within 3 minutes of coming off the bench. So we've made a slight tactical tweak, and he's playing games now. And then we smashed Toulouse, who I was surprised when we took the lead, because Toulouse are quite a good team. At one point, I think they were top 4. But Aloui got our first goal, and then nothing really happened. And in the second half, we just decided to start playing football. Like, Arsonist came off the bench and scored. Anache played fantastic when he came on for Sagnan, and Christ Yolo came on and actually played really rather well. As you can see, Pedraza played an 8.4. I think he had a hat-trick of assists, if I'm not mistaken. He had quite the game, which made me quite a bit happy. Do I show you the transfers that the Direct Football has sorted? I think we do. So, as it is right now, we have 4 players coming in for next season. We have Fabrizio Alastra from Cittadella, who are a Serie B team. They are. He's had a decent season, 11 clean sheets, only conceded 35. It's not bad. Did Cittadella could get promoted. Interesting that he'd leave. But I suppose end of contract, bound to happen. Prince Reed, coming from Cape Town Spurs. Actually, I haven't even looked at this guy. He's quite brave. I like that. I like his bravery. He's only 18. He's not going to be able to play for us next season because, he's just straight South African. We are bringing in Ivan Illich from Man City on a pre-contract, who, I think I told you about him already. He's playing for Palace this year, but he's already got some bit of French nationality. So don't know if Serbia counts as EU. We're going to find out in the start of the next season. And then we signed Aryan Kalantari, who is a striker, natural fitness of 17 to 20. The Direct Football signed this guy, so I was like, okay, we're just going to start scouting him. Would be a very good signing. Okay, so obviously we scouted him at some point. He's capped at under 19 level for England. 12 to 17 dribbling. This guy mightn't be terrible. But he's playing in Iran, which is just so random. He was born in Stockport, but he's Iranian as well. This is very interesting. Trying to get more information on, because look, this season and last season he's been quite good. I don't know huge amount about him, so we're going to find out when he arrives. But like I said, today's game is important-ish. Dijon have sold out their stadium for today's game, which congratulations to them. But this is how we're lining up. We're making a slight tactical tweak, as I said. Clayton continues in goal, and he is devastated that he missed out on Brazil's what tournament is being played this year? Their Copa America group. I'm surprised he didn't make it in, because their third goalkeeper doesn't look great. Orvik's going to start on the right with Pedraza starting on the left as a complete wing back on attack, because, like I said, last game played amazing. We have Enache and Nathan as our centre backs. Nathan's been a little disappointing, but he's had a couple of games where he's done really well, so I'm just going to keep playing him. When he isn't suspended, he's quite good. Pereira Lage is going to move on to the right. Lefay sits in central midfield, and Fossum, who scored his first goal in the last game, is after moving over to left. So this is the new midfield, because with Pedraza running up and down here, I don't really want Pereira Lage running around in here. I prefer him to be over in this area. Gabels, De Graca and Toure start as our strike force. I think Toure is guaranteed. Yeah, Toure is guaranteed to finish the season as our top scorer, unless De Graca can score 10 goals in this game. And if De Graca scores 10 goals in this game, I'm pretty sure we win the league. Or win the league? Pretty sure we win the game. Imagine if we won the league by winning 10-0. That'd be insane. We have a couple of players that are unavailable due to playing in our second team's most recent game. I have a couple of suspensions. Zinga picked up an injury. Lefel won't be able to be on the bench because he is after playing in the B team. And Fila has an injury. Sagna is suspended. Jakic and Pusic are the only two players that are fit that do not make it onto the bench, because we've put Stankovicius on the bench because he played a couple of games. He's actually not that bad. And our two young goal scorers, Olivier Rallet and Christ Yolo, are sitting on the bench today. I'm going to give, if we have the opportunity, Olivier Rallet is going to get off the bench and he's going to score us a goal. Guaranteed. I don't guarantee it. If I guarantee it, it definitely won't happen. They have Andre Wisdom, sorry, sitting in the defence for them today. Musa Konate. If he's not a new gen, and I think I know who he is. And Andros Townsend on the bench for them. We're going to pump our fists. We're 5th in the standings. No, outstretch arms. Continue from what you did in the last game, which, as previously stated, was fantastic. So, going into this game, like I said, not a huge amount to play for. We could potentially finish 9th, but I'm not going to be banking on it. Nathan puts the ball in, and Willem Gebels scores himself his 8th goal of the season. I am quite glad the director of football brought him in, because I had completely forgotten about Willem Gebels. Did I ever manage Willem Gebels? Don't think I've ever actually had him in FM, but that result, or that goal, puts us up to, was it 11th, was it? So results aren't quite in our favour right now. Pedraza picks up the ball. Back to Fossum. Gets back to Lefay. Toure slots a past keeper, his 19th of the season. Aloui did pick up an injury just before, I think it was 2 days before this game. But it's like a 3-week injury. So unfortunately for him, he has ended his season prematurely. But we are 2 up against Dijon, away from home, after 8 minutes, 9 minutes, I suppose, if you want to count the way football, or the way the game calculates the time, because we were in the 8th minute, but we'd surpassed 8 minutes, so it would be the 9th minute. What is Andre Wisdom doing on the wing? That was an interesting attempt at a tackle by Orvik. I was like, who is the number 28? But yeah, he it was interesting. Didn't really get near anybody. Marseille dropped. Okay, Marseille are drawing, I think, but Lyon are winning their game. Saint Etienne at the moment are surviving. So if you ever want to guarantee a survival for a team, just ask me to tell you that they're going to get relegated, and it's almost guaranteed that they're not going to get relegated, because this is just something I do. I always say it. I'm always like, oh, guaranteed to go down. I could say right now, Sheffield United, guaranteed to get relegated this season. They'll probably survive. And that was an absolute, tremendously bad bit of goalkeeping by Clayton. Don't really want to watch it again, because it was very bad. Andre Wisdom is playing as a right back. No wonder Dijon are getting relegated. Nathan Tmark. Georges Pierre. Dijon actually have a higher XG than us, so we've just been quite good with the old, doing the football. We're going to give everyone a little bit of, I believe that you can do everything that it takes. Nathan, 7.2. I still don't think this guy, does he speak French? He's fluent French, so we don't have to worry about that. Anything we need to do tactically? No. Orlovic's not having the best game. Graka's having a bit of a poor game as well. So what I might do is, actually, instead of having you as a complete forward, swap you over to a pressing forward. He's played well as a pressing forward. He's not been amazing as a complete forward, but I wanted to see what he could do, and he misses the header that time. Pedraza gets it across, and Gebels heads ever just so close to getting that one in. We would move up to 10th if results stay as they are. Like I said, could potentially move up to 9th if Guingamp lose and Gebels offside with that one. I'm going to assume he's offside, because they've called it back for a review, and it's offside. How close was he to offside? Quite. There was 2 of them in it. The Graka also decided he didn't understand the offside rule. That was a questionable throw by Orvik. We're lucky. We are so lucky that the goal isn't, 6 inches wider. And Pereira is dying. Is he after picking up a knock, or is he just tired? Pedraza. Back to Lefay. Fossum. We do have a couple of players as well that have interest in them. So we're going to find out. Oh, Lefay. Get in. We're going to make a couple of changes now. We do have a couple of players that have interest in them, which I hadn't originally expected us to have kind of massive amount of interest in a lot of our players, but yeah, we've picked up quite a bit of interest in some important-ish players. I wouldn't say they're the most important players in our team. Sagna has a bit of interest in him. He's just signed a new contract, so I don't think he'd actually leave. We did just get quite a goal by Lefay as well, in case you're listening and not watching. Is there anyone else in the first team that has interest in him? Toure has interest from, I think it was Club Bruges, but I don't think, Lefay just puts that one wide. I don't think he'll be leaving. Olivier Rallet has interest as well, but not overly fussed about him leaving. He's got like 3.5 star potential, or is it 4 star potential. He's not a worldly. I'd prefer if I had to keep him or Christiolo, I'd keep Christiolo, which I think is fairly obvious by the fact that I play Christiolo a lot more regularly than I do Gelé. Other than that, I don't think there's anyone that's, you're going to go, we couldn't afford to lose this guy. Alright, we're coming up on the 75th minute, and we have a substitution left. Orlovic, don't really want, no, we don't have a right back to take him off for. Enache could come off for Schallenberg. Schallenberg hasn't played much recently. I'm going to take a Fossum for Schallenberg. He's going to play as the box-to-box. Stankovicis is actually left-footed, so having him as the Mazzella on that side, on the right side, doesn't play to his strengths as much, but it'll be fine. The fact that Dijon have won the ball back, not fine. Selena puts it through for Pierre, and Georges Pierre has made it 3-2. Okay, so it's cheeky little bit of braid. I'm not happy with this now, lads. We've fallen down to 11th, which I don't think we can't really do much more than win the game as it is. So if we, with results going the way they are, we're going to finish 11th, which isn't the worst result in the world, I suppose. I would still have preferred, obviously, to finish at least top 10. But that really poor run of form we had has kind of shot us in the foot, and we're stuck where we are. Even it's because Lorient had the results go quite well for them. I didn't actually check to see who made it into the relegation playoffs. I'm just going to say it's a good win. Last game of the season, we don't have to worry too much about what happens from here. The lads are acceptable. Saint-Étienne end up losing to Marseille. Every goal came after the hour. That's devastating for Saint-Étienne. Brest lost their game. Metz lost to Lille. That's interesting. Lorient smashed Montpellier. PSG break the 100-point barrier for the first time in this save, beating Bordeaux, which had we picked up, no, we weren't going to get ahead of Bordeaux. It was Lorient that we had to worry about. Guingamp drew with Strasbourg. Strasbourg couldn't have done us a favour, no? To be fair, they were, and then Guingamp in the 83rd minute scored the equaliser. Toulouse and Monaco drawing. Toulouse had very questionable form heading into the end of the season. The Ream boss was there to look at Lefay. I hope he doesn't leave. We've got 4.3 million for finishing 11th. And it is a shame that we didn't have a better start to the season, because if we did, we could have potentially finished a lot higher. Enzo Lefay not happy with the fact that Cesar Diniz has kind of shit-talked him. But, like I said, a lot of interest in our players. Orvik has interest from Newcastle and Sassuolo. Lefay has interest from Reims. Toure has Bruges and Valverde. Schallenberg has interest from Crystal Palace. Arsens has interest from Reims. Olivier Gelé, Le Havre, Lens, and Troyes. Interested in him. Schallenberg or Sagnan. Empoli. Mbaka. I'm not sure about him. If I was managing the transfers, don't know if I'd be overly bothered about losing him. Leharven can want him. Fila has one interest from Genoa. That's only come in recently. Jakic is wanted by Ream as well. I think I'd let him go. And Lopez, apart from scoring that first game of the season, he's not done an awful lot. Zulte Vargem and Ream want him as well. So I think Ream really want our players. How have they done in the second? They're promoted. So Nîmes and Ream are coming up. Our affiliate club got relegated. That's sad. So we're not going to have a higher division for our players to go on loan to. But it'd be interesting to see how Nîmes and Ream do when they get promoted, when they play against us next year. Because last year they got relegated as well. Yeah, 11th place, not the worst finish in the world, I suppose. Board should be happy. Yeah, we passed. Achieved mid-table. Happy days. I was hoping for a higher mid-table, but what can you do? Our youth facilities should be done fairly soon. Yeah, 5 months' time-ish. Yeah, 5-ish months' time. And yeah, that's pretty much everything we could have hoped for. Profile-wise, we are still 50% still on Continental B. I think we're studying for Continental A. Pretty sure we are. And finance-wise, that's pushed us back into the black. And with transfers that are going to be happening in the next episode, hopefully that will push us to not having to worry so much about, transfers and debt and having to sell our best players to stay within, the black. Do not want to go into debt. We did so much, well, we didn't really do any work, but we did really well to keep Wigan moving up the tables and up the table and up the leagues to stop them from getting back into debt. I wouldn't mind keeping Angers in the, if we get top 8, top 6, we could bring in quite a lot of money and then potentially get to play in Europe, and that would be fantastic. But we still have a lot of players here who don't like us, so we need to see what happens. I think some of these players might get thrown on the transfer list, depending on if they decide to be troublemakers for the rest of the or during the summer. Pedraza, I feel like him and Gabels, is it him and Gabels or is it Pusic, are saying that, yeah, I know Pedraza is the biggest troublemaker because he was like, it doesn't extend far enough. So his discontent doesn't extend far enough. He's an acquaintance of mine, which is interesting that he doesn't like me. Paul Pogba will be one of our club's leading players if we were to sign him. But we're not going to be able to sign Paul Pogba. It's also talking about Antoine Griezmann for a while. I was looking at this and it was like, Antoine Griezmann would be a fantastic addition to the team. It's like, well, yes, obviously, but no. We can't afford him. He's on 600k a week. And he just won Spanish League Player of the Season or something. Because Barcelona did manage to do a back-to-back title win for the first time since 2017, 18, 18, 19. And got third highest goal scorer. Valencia, smashing goals in. To be fair, Lautaro Martinez, fantastic goal scorer. If you're looking for a goal scorer and you've got lots of money, Martinez is a very good one to get. So we're going to leave it there. The next episode will be the end of season review and our transfers that we do before the first game of the season. And then the episode after that will be first games of the season. So we'll see what happens from there. If you have enjoyed this episode, please do make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Share with all of your friends. And I will see you, of course, in the next one.